Terran wiped the sweat from his forehead as he climbed out of the narrow mining shaft. The tunnels were quiet now, filled only with the hum of distant machinery. Light from the helmet flickered on the walls, showing the rough marks of decades of mining. Terran had spent most of his life here on the planet Korin, a cold, rocky world far from the center of the galaxy. It was not a place of wonder or beauty, but a place where humans struggled to survive. The Krillans had taken control of many worlds in this part of the galaxy. They were strong, cold, and relentless. No human colony had survived a direct attack for long. Terran had heard stories from the older miners about worlds that had vanished under Krillin rule. Families disappeared, towns were destroyed, and the silence that followed was the only warning left. Humans were considered weak, fragile, and easy to control. But Terran had never believed that humans were weak. He knew there was something more inside them, something the Krillans could not see at first. The tunnel shook slightly as a distant explosion rattled the walls. Mining equipment had a tendency to malfunction when the Krillans sent patrols close to the planet. Terran paused, listening. He could hear faint footsteps echoing far behind him. They were not human. He froze, every muscle tight with fear and anticipation. Krillans were massive, armored beings with sharp senses and a single goal: to suppress humans. Their patrols moved quickly, and their memory for punishment was long. Terran moved quietly, keeping close to the wall, breathing carefully. The footsteps grew fainter. The Krillans had not noticed him. Relief filled him for a moment, but he knew that danger was always near. He returned to the part of the tunnel where he had been working. The miners had been digging for rare minerals, but Terran's eyes were not on the rock. They were drawn to a small, faintly glowing crystal embedded in the wall. He knelt down and brushed away the dust and stone. The crystal pulsed softly with a warm light. Terran felt a strange energy flow through him. It was not electricity or heat, it was something alive. His heart raced. He had never seen anything like it. The miners had found many minerals before, but nothing that felt like this. Terran carefully pried it free. It was small, but heavy for its size, and the warmth in his hand seemed to grow stronger as he held it. Terran could not explain why, but he felt hope for the first time in many years. It was a small thing, a tiny piece of stone glowing in the dark, but it felt like it carried a promise. He remembered the stories of human courage from old books and whispers among the miners. Humans had survived the impossible many times. Perhaps this crystal was a chance for them to survive again. He carried the crystal out of the tunnel and into the open mining yard. The wind was sharp against his face, carrying the dust of the rocky world. The sky was a dull gray, filled with distant stars that were too far to give warmth. Life here was harsh, and the Krillans made it even harsher. Terran looked around. Other miners were resting, tired and grim, but he felt a fire inside him that he had not known before. He had to show someone. Myra was the first person he thought of. She was a medic who cared for the workers when accidents happened. She was brave and wise, not afraid to speak her mind, and she believed in humans when others did not. Terran ran across the yard, the crystal glowing softly in his hand. He found Myra tending to a small fire where a group of miners were warming their hands. "Myra," he said, trying to keep his voice calm. "I found something." She looked up, her eyes curious and careful. "What is it?" He held out the crystal. Its light reflected in her eyes. Myra gasped softly. "Where did you find this?" "In the old tunnel," Terran said. It feels alive. I don't know how to explain it, but it gives me hope. It makes me feel stronger." Myra reached out and held the crystal. Her fingers trembled slightly as the warmth spread through her hand. "It is beautiful," she whispered. "I have never felt anything like this. It could change everything for us." Terran nodded. "We have to be careful. The Krillans patrol near here all the time. If they see it, they will take it," or worse, they will punish us. Myra looked around, then back at him. We need to study it. We need to know what it does and how it works. But I think it can help people survive. Maybe even help us fight back. For the first time, Terran felt a sense of purpose beyond digging tunnels and hiding from the Krillins. He and Myra made a plan to hide the crystal and learn about it quietly. They chose a small underground chamber beneath the mining yard, one that the Krillins rarely visited. It was damp and dark, but it was safe for now. Over the next few days, Terran and Myra studied the crystal carefully. They noticed that its glow became brighter when living creatures were near. Plants in small pots grew faster, and minor injuries healed more quickly when the crystal was close. Even Terran felt stronger and more alert when he held it. It was as if the crystal responded to hope itself, feeding on courage and giving strength in return. But hope can be dangerous. Terran knew that the Krillins would not allow humans to grow stronger. They could not understand why humans would fight for survival or why they would refuse to submit. If the Krillins discovered the crystal, everything would be lost. Terran and Myra had to protect it, no matter the cost. One evening, as Terran left the chamber, he looked up at the stars. He imagined what it would be like to travel beyond Korin, to see other worlds and meet other humans. He imagined a galaxy where humans were not weak, not hidden, not afraid. For the first time, he believed it could happen. The crystal pulsed softly in his pocket, a reminder that even in the darkest times, a small light could shine. The shadows of the void stretched across the galaxy, and the Krillins watched silently. But a new fire had begun to burn on Korin. It was quiet now, almost hidden, but it would grow. Terran did not know what lay ahead, but he knew one thing: humans could survive, and they could fight, if only they had hope. And hope, he realized, was a light that could never be taken away completely. The days passed slowly on Korin. The mining colony worked under the strict eyes of the Krillin overseers. Every morning, humans marched to the tunnels, their movements watched for any sign of disobedience. Life was hard, cold, and controlled, but Terran felt a warmth inside him that he had not known before. The crystal he had discovered was more than a glowing stone. It was a spark, a reminder that humans could still fight back, even in the darkest times. Terran met Myra in the small chamber beneath the mining yard, their secret place. The crystal's soft light illuminated their faces as they experimented carefully. They noticed that it made minor injuries heal faster. Cuts on fingers closed in hours instead of days. Bruises faded quickly. Even small plants in the chamber grew larger and stronger when the crystal was nearby. "This is more than a stone," Myra said, her eyes wide. "It feels alive. It gives strength. Maybe it can help people in ways the Krillins cannot understand." Terran nodded. "We need to be careful. But we cannot keep this to ourselves. Humans need hope. Humans need to know they can resist." They decided to share the secret with a small group of miners they trusted. Terran chose Rico, a strong worker with a calm mind, and Lena, who had a sharp sense of danger. Myra selected Sara, a young apprentice medic, and Borin, a mechanic who could repair anything. They gathered in the chamber one evening, the crystal glowing warmly in the center. "This is what I found," Terran said. "It is a small crystal, but it gives strength. It heals injuries. It helps living things grow. It can help humans survive, even against the Krillins." Rico leaned closer, studying the crystal. "It is beautiful. I can feel something when I touch it. My hand feels warm, and I feel stronger." Myra nodded. "It is not magic. It is energy. But it responds to courage. If we are brave, it becomes stronger. If we are fearful, it dims. We have to be careful, but we can use it to help people." The group spent the night experimenting quietly. Small wounds healed, machinery repaired itself faster, and even the mood of the miners improved. They began to smile, laugh quietly, and feel a hope that had been missing for years. The crystal had given them a gift they had never imagined, the power to resist. Over the next few weeks, Terran and Myra taught the group how to hide the crystal. They built a secret chamber, reinforced with metal and hidden behind old mining machinery. Only the 6 of them knew its location. They began to plan small ways to help the colony. They healed injuries quickly, repaired damaged equipment, and shared advice on avoiding Krillin patrols. Slowly, humans began to feel capable of taking small steps toward freedom. One day, while Terran was working on a broken transport cart, a Krillin patrol passed by. The aliens' armored bodies reflected the dull light of the mining yard. Humans froze in fear, but Terran felt something new. He held the crystal in his pocket, and its warmth spread through him. He moved carefully, pretending to fix the cart. The Krillins looked around, suspicious but not threatening. Terran's hands worked quickly, guided by the strange energy of the crystal. The cart was repaired in minutes. When the Krillins left, Rico whispered, "I don't know how you did that. They should have punished us, but you did it?" Terran smiled faintly. The crystal helped. But humans have strength too. We just need to believe in it. As days turned into weeks, the group grew bolder. They began to secretly teach other miners to work smarter, move quietly, and care for one another. They were careful, always hiding the crystal's true power, but its energy inspired hope in everyone who felt it. Humans who had once been afraid to speak up began to share ideas, help each other, and find courage in small acts. Myra watched the change and felt a deep sense of pride. "This is just the beginning," she said one night. "If humans can feel hope here, in this small mining colony, imagine what we could do across the galaxy. Imagine what we could become." Terran nodded, staring at the faint glow of the crystal. "The Krillins think we are weak. They think we will obey. But they do not understand us. Humans survive. Humans fight. Humans adapt. We are not just a species of workers or miners. We are more. We are strong because we believe in each other. Because we do not give up." The crystal pulsed as if in agreement, filling the small chamber with a comforting light. The group spent hours discussing plans. They would not attack the Krillins yet, they were too few, and the aliens were too powerful. But they could prepare. They could train. They could inspire hope in others. One day, they would be ready. Then, one evening, a sudden tremor shook the mining yard. Equipment clattered, and dust filled the air. The Krillins were coming closer, patrolling more aggressively. The group felt a wave of fear, but Terran held the crystal tightly. Its warmth spread through him, steadying his heart. "We are ready," Terran said. "We cannot hide forever. We must be brave. The crystal is with us, and it gives us strength. But more importantly, we have each other. That is something no Krillin can take away." Myra nodded. "Let's be careful. Let's teach hope quietly, one person at a time. If the Krillins find the crystal, they will try to destroy it. But if humans believe in themselves, we can survive, even without it. The crystal is a tool, but courage is ours." The group moved through the colony, quietly helping miners and sharing advice. Each small act of kindness, each repaired machine, each healed wound became a spark of resistance. Humans who had once felt powerless began to smile again. They began to look at the stars and imagine a future where they were not slaves to fear. For the first time in generations, hope had returned to Korin. It was fragile and small, but it was there. And as long as hope existed, humans could survive, fight, and dream. Terran looked at the sky that night, the stars faint against the gray dust clouds. The galaxy was wide and full of darkness, and the Krillin seemed unstoppable. But a fire had begun on Korin. It was quiet now, almost invisible, but it would grow. Humans were rising, one small step at a time, and nothing could stop them from believing in their own strength. The shadows of the void were still there, watching, waiting. But the spark of hope had been lit, and it could not be extinguished easily. The wind on Corin was sharper than usual that morning. Terran adjusted the straps on his mining pack and glanced at the small group gathered in the hidden chamber. The crystal pulsed softly, its light reflecting hope in their eyes. The group had grown bolder, and they knew that staying underground forever was not a solution. Humans needed to see the sky beyond Corin, to know that the galaxy held more than fear and grey dust. Myra handed out small tools and devices the group had secretly repaired and improved. Today, she said, we take the first step. We cannot fight the Krillins yet, but we can move. We can see the stars, and we can find allies. We must learn to survive beyond this planet. Terran nodded. He felt the weight of responsibility, but he also felt excitement. The idea of flight had always seemed impossible. Corin was a mining world, far from any major space lanes. But the humans had secretly been building a small shuttle for years. Hidden under layers of machinery and rock, it was rough and incomplete, but functional. The crystal had helped repair critical systems, and the group had worked tirelessly to prepare it. Rico checked the engines one last time. Fuel is stable, life support is running. The Krillins will not find this place if we are careful. We can leave quietly, explore nearby systems, and return when we are stronger. Lena tightened her gloves. This is dangerous. We have no idea what we will face outside the atmosphere. But staying here forever is certain death. The Krillins will not stop hunting humans. Terran placed a hand on the crystal. Its warmth spread through his chest, giving him courage. We go together. We stay together. Humans survive when they trust each other. The galaxy is wide, and it is ours to explore. We start small, but one day, this will be the first of many steps toward freedom. The group moved carefully through the mining yard, avoiding the patrols. The wind howled across the rocky surface, but no sound could mask the pounding of their hearts. They reached the shuttle hidden beneath a rock outcropping. Its metal surface was scratched and dull, but it was strong. Terran ran his hand over it, feeling the promise of flight. Sara checked the navigation systems. Coordinates are set for the nearby star system, he said. It is mostly uninhabited, but there are resources and planets we can use to hide. From there, we can plan our next move. Boran secured the doors and double-checked the engines. We may have to land rough, he said. But this shuttle can handle it. It was built to survive Corin's storms. The engines hummed as the shuttle powered up. The crystal was placed in the cockpit, glowing brighter as the human crew gathered around it. Terran felt its warmth fill him with strength. He remembered the words Myra had spoken, courage makes the crystal stronger. He smiled faintly, knowing that the journey ahead would test all their courage. The shuttle lifted slowly, shaking from the force of the engines. Dust and rocks scattered across the mining yard, but the group ignored it. The Krillins had not noticed the movement. Higher and higher they rose, until Corin's gray surface was a small patch below them. The stars stretched endlessly before their eyes, a vast, unbroken canvas. For the first time, Terran felt the true meaning of hope. Humans were small in the galaxy, but they had courage. They had determination. They had each other. The crystal glowed brighter as if acknowledging their resolve. Look at this, Rico said, voice filled with awe. The universe is huge. We are just a small part of it. But maybe being small makes us stronger. Maybe we can move faster, hide better, and survive when the Krillins cannot. Myra nodded, adjusting the shields. We must remember that danger is everywhere. The galaxy is not empty. But humans adapt. Humans survive. And humans fight. The shuttle left Corin's orbit, moving toward the nearby star system. The crew took turns watching the instruments, checking the engines, and studying the glowing crystal. Each moment was filled with tension. One mistake, one unnoticed obstacle, and they could be lost forever. After several hours, a small planet appeared on the instruments. Its surface was green and blue, a sharp contrast to Corin's gray. It was quiet, peaceful, and uninhabited. Terran felt a thrill run through him. "This will be our first stop," he said. "We rest, gather resources, and prepare. The Krillins may follow, but they will not find us here." The shuttle descended carefully, landing in a small clearing surrounded by trees. The engines powered down, and a heavy silence followed. The crystal's glow seemed softer now, reflecting the calm of the planet. Terran opened the hatch and stepped onto solid ground. The air was fresh and clean, a gift humans had not felt in generations. Myra followed him, taking a deep breath. "We made it," she said. "This is the first step of many. We can survive here. We can grow stronger." The group explored the area, finding streams, fruit-bearing plants, and clearings suitable for building a small camp. Boran began setting up simple shelters, while Rico and Lena gathered materials for future trips. Sara checked the shuttle and stored supplies carefully. As night fell, Terran looked up at the stars. Corin was a distant speck, gray and cold. But humans were alive, together, and free to move for the first time. The crystal glowed softly, casting warmth over the group. Terran felt a deep sense of pride. Humans had survived the impossible before. They had faced the Krillins and hardship. Now, they had flight, hope, and courage. "This is only the beginning," Terran said quietly. "We are humans. We adapt. We survive. We fight when we must. And we will never give up." Myra placed a hand on his shoulder. "The galaxy is wide, Terran. The Krillins will come eventually, but we will be ready. We will show them that humans are not weak. Humans are strong, clever, and brave. And together, we can overcome anything." The fire of hope burned quietly among the small group, a light in the darkness of the galaxy. The first flight had been successful, but the journey ahead was long. Terran knew there would be challenges, dangers, and moments of fear. But he also knew something stronger: humans had the courage to survive, the wisdom to adapt, and the determination to fight for a future worth living. The first flight was complete, but the story of survival, courage, and hope had only just begun. The stars stretched endlessly before them, full of mystery and promise. And for the first time in generations, humans felt free to chase it. The small planet was quiet, almost too quiet. Terran and the group had spent the first days exploring, setting up shelters, and gathering food. The crystal's glow gave them comfort, but it also reminded them that danger could follow. Humans were free here, for now, but freedom always carried risk. One morning, Terran woke early and looked at the sky. The twin suns of the planet rose slowly, casting a golden light over the trees. Birds with bright feathers called in the distance. Streams sparkled in the sunlight. Humans had never seen a world so alive. Terran felt a sense of awe. They had survived Corin, flown through space, and now stood on a new world full of possibilities. Rico joined him, carrying a small pack of supplies. "We can make this place a home, if we are careful," he said. "But the universe is wide. We cannot assume we are alone. We have to be ready for anything." Terran nodded. "The Krillins may follow. But even if they do not, the galaxy is full of challenges. We must learn quickly, adapt, and stay united. Humans survive by staying together and using our minds." The group spent the day mapping the area. Boran tested the shuttle and repaired minor systems. Sara collected plant samples and studied the soil, finding it rich and fertile. Myra taught the others how to use the crystal to encourage growth. Even small seeds sprouted in hours, and injured animals seemed to recover faster. Humans were discovering the strength of life itself, guided by their courage and the crystal's energy. As night fell, the group gathered around a small fire. Terran stared at the stars, feeling both hope and caution. "We cannot forget what brought us here," he said. "The Krillins hunt humans. One day, they may find us. But humans have always survived against impossible odds. That is our power." Suddenly, the ground trembled. The fire flickered. Myra stood, her hand on the crystal. "Something is coming," she said. The group went silent. The sounds of the planet, which had been peaceful, were now filled with distant roars and strange metallic echoes. Rico grabbed a nearby torch. "We need to see," he said. "Stay close. Humans survive by being aware. Humans survive by acting, not waiting." Through the trees, the group saw dark shapes moving. Machines unlike any they had seen before. Krillin scouts. They had followed the humans, tracking them through space and across the stars. The Krillins moved with precision, their sensors glowing in the darkness. Terran felt fear, but the crystal warmed his hands. Its light was steady, calm. He realized that courage was stronger than fear. "We have survived worse," he said quietly. "We can survive this too." The group moved quickly but carefully. Borin activated small traps around the clearing, using logs and wires. Rico and Lena prepared to hide. Myra and Sara concentrated on keeping the crystal's glow steady, hoping it would give them strength. Humans may not have the power of the Krillins, but they had brains, courage, and unity. That was enough. The Krillin scouts entered the clearing. Their metal bodies reflected the firelight, and their sensors scanned for life. They did not notice the humans hidden behind rocks and trees. Terran's heart pounded. Every human instinct told him to run, but he held his ground. He realized that sometimes survival required patience, intelligence, and planning. Rico whispered, "They are strong. But humans are smarter. We can outthink them." The group watched as one scout paused near the shelter. Borin triggered a small distraction, causing a noise in the opposite direction. The scout moved, confused. Terran felt hope grow. Humans were clever. Humans could survive. Humans could fight, even without weapons as strong as the Krillins. That night, after the scouts left, the group huddled around the fire. "They will return," Myra said. "We need a plan. We cannot stay here forever, but we can learn. We can train. We can prepare." Terran nodded. "Humans are not powerless. We are brave, clever, and persistent. The Krillins may have machines, but we have minds, courage, and hope. That is stronger than any weapon." Over the next days, the group improved their defenses and trained. They learned to move silently through the forests, to use the terrain to their advantage, and to hide effectively. Even without the crystal, they practiced using clever tricks and teamwork. Humans had survived centuries in harsh environments. They had built civilizations from nothing. They were survivors by nature. One afternoon, while exploring a nearby valley, Terran discovered a small cave with crystals embedded in the walls. "These crystals are like ours," he said. "They may not be as powerful, but they can help. Humans can use them to heal, to grow, and to defend themselves." Myra examined the cave carefully. "This planet may have more than we thought. Humans survive by learning. Humans survive by exploring and understanding. If we study these crystals, we may be stronger than we imagine." As the group returned to the camp, the Krillins appeared again, larger this time. Terran felt the tension rise, but he did not panic. The humans had learned. They had adapted. They had the crystal. And most importantly, they had each other. The Krillins searched the area, scanning for life. Humans moved silently, avoiding detection. Boren used small devices to create false heat signatures, confusing the scanners. Rico and Lena guided the group through hidden paths. Myra focused the crystal's energy, giving them confidence and strength. After hours of careful movement, the Krillins finally left. The humans emerged from hiding, hearts pounding but spirits high. They had survived the first real challenge outside Korin. They had faced the Krillins and lived. Terran looked at the sky again, the stars shining brightly. Humans are not slaves, he said. We are clever. We are brave. We survive because we think, because we act, because we do not give up. The Krillins may be strong, but they will never break the spirit of humans. Myra smiled faintly. The fire of hope is growing. It will guide us, protect us, and help us find our place in the galaxy. Humans are rising, and nothing can stop us when we believe in ourselves. That night, as the twin moons rose over the forest, the group sat together, feeling the crystal's warmth and their own courage. The galaxy was wide, full of danger, but also full of opportunity. Humans were small in the universe, but they were strong in heart and mind. The fire of hope had survived Korin, flight through space, and the first challenge on a new planet. And the humans knew one truth above all else: as long as hope lived in their hearts, they would survive, fight, and rise higher than any force in the galaxy. The shadows in the stars had returned, but the fire of hope burned brighter. The journey was only beginning. The small planet was quiet, but humans could not remain there forever. Terran gathered the group early in the morning. The twin suns had just risen, casting soft light over the forest. Birds chirped, and the air smelled fresh and sweet. But humans had learned that beauty in the galaxy often hid danger. We cannot hide here forever, Terran said. The Krillins may have left, but they will return. Our journey must continue. We have seen new worlds, and we must explore them. Humans survive by moving forward, by learning, and by helping each other. Rico adjusted the shuttle's systems. The engines are stable, the shields are ready, and the navigation is set. We can reach a nearby star system in one day. It is mostly unexplored. If we find resources and shelter there, we can grow stronger and plan our next move. Myra held the crystal. Its glow was steady and bright, filling the group with courage. The crystal has guided us this far. It will continue to help us, but humans must remember, hope alone is not enough. We need action, planning, and teamwork. We must learn the ways of the galaxy. Boren checked the shuttle one last time. The planet is safe for now, but we cannot rely on safety. We travel lightly, we stay alert, and we remember what humans are capable of. Cleverness, courage, and persistence will carry us forward. The shuttle lifted from the planet's surface, engines humming with quiet power. Humans looked out at the stars, feeling a mixture of awe and determination. The galaxy was vast, full of possibilities, and full of unknown threats. But humans had survived the impossible before. They had escaped Korin, flown through space, and survived the first encounters with the Krillins. This is our chance, Terran said quietly. To explore, to learn, and to show the galaxy what humans are capable of. The journey was smooth at first, but the crew remained alert. Sara monitored sensors, scanning for planets, asteroids, or any signs of life. The crystal pulsed softly, as if sensing new opportunities. Humans relied on observation, careful planning, and intuition. Even small decisions could make the difference between survival and failure. After several hours, a small star system appeared on the instruments. It had 3 planets, each different in color and environment. Terran studied the displays carefully. The first planet is rocky but has an atmosphere, he said. The second is covered in water and islands. The third is mostly desert. Any of these could be a temporary base, but we must choose wisely. Rico nodded. The first planet is closest. It has natural shelters and stable ground. We can land there, explore, and decide if it is safe for humans. The Krillins may follow, but we will be ready. Humans adapt quickly. The shuttle descended toward the rocky planet. The surface was rough, but manageable. The engines roared as they touched down in a small valley surrounded by cliffs. The shuttle's shields held firm, and humans stepped onto solid ground. For the first time since leaving Korin, they were on an alien world that promised both danger and opportunity. Myra held the crystal above her head. Its glow illuminated the valley, revealing hidden caves and streams. "This planet has life," she said. "Plants, minerals, and water. Humans can survive here. Humans can grow stronger here." The group explored cautiously. Borin tested the terrain for stability, Rico mapped the area, Lena gathered food, and Sara collected samples of plants and minerals. Terran watched them, feeling pride. Humans were small in the galaxy, but their courage and intelligence made them mighty in their own way. As night fell, the group gathered around a small fire near a stream. The stars above were bright and unfamiliar. Terran spoke softly. "Humans are explorers. We have survived harsh worlds, unknown dangers, and relentless enemies. The Krillins may think they are strong, but humans have something stronger. Courage, cleverness, and hope. That is our true power." Suddenly, the sensors detected movement. Shadows shifted among the cliffs. Terran motioned for the group to be silent. The Krillins had tracked them again. This time, there were more scouts, moving carefully, scanning the area for life. Rico whispered, "They have learned. Humans must adapt faster." Terran nodded. "We will not fight blindly. Humans survive by strategy, by understanding, and by acting together. We have tools, traps, and the crystal. We have each other. That is enough." The humans moved quietly through the valley, avoiding detection. Borin set up small diversions, creating sounds in other directions. Lena guided them along hidden paths, using the cliffs to block sight lines. Myra focused the crystal's light to boost their courage and keep them steady. Humans had no metal armor, no advanced weapons like the Krillins, but they had brains, hearts, and teamwork. That was more than enough. The Krillins searched for hours. Each time they got close, humans shifted silently to new positions. Terran realized that the humans' advantage was not strength but flexibility. Humans could change, adapt, and surprise the enemy. The Krillins relied on power and precision, but humans relied on wit, courage, and unity. After the scouts left, the group rested, their hearts pounding but their spirits high. "Humans survived," Terran said. "We have done what many would fail to do. We are small, but we are clever. We are brave, and we are determined. That is our strength. That is what makes humans rise." Over the next days, the group explored the rocky planet, finding hidden caves, clean water, and edible plants. They learned to use the terrain to hide, to move quickly, and to set simple traps. The crystal helped them grow food faster and recover from minor injuries. Humans were learning that even in the unknown, they could survive and thrive. One morning, while exploring a high cliff, Terran spotted movement in the distance. Strange creatures, unlike anything humans had seen before, were watching them. But these were not Krillins. These were animals, intelligent and cautious. Terran realized that humans were not alone in the galaxy. There were life forms that could be allies, that could teach, or that could share the universe. "This planet is full of life," Terran said. "Humans are explorers, but we must also be learners. We survive by observing, by understanding, and by acting carefully. The galaxy is vast, and humans have only begun to touch its edges." Myra smiled. "The crystal guides us, but humans provide the will. Together, we can grow stronger, explore further, and face the Krillins when the time comes." Humans are rising. The fire of hope burns brighter. That night, the twin moons of the rocky planet shone over the valley. The humans sat together, feeling the warmth of the fire and the power of the crystal. The galaxy was wide, full of dangers and mysteries, but humans were ready. They were clever, brave, and united. They would explore, learn, and survive. The shadows in the stars would return, but the fire of hope would burn brighter. Humans had survived Koran, flight through space, and the first encounters with enemies. Now they were ready to face the unknown, to find allies, and to grow stronger than ever before. The journey continued, and the galaxy waited. The rocky planet was quiet, but humans could not stay in one place forever. Terran and the group had learned that survival required movement, exploration, and courage. Every new world held opportunities and challenges. Every new star system could bring danger or friendship. Terran gathered the crew one morning. The twin suns of the planet rose over the cliffs, casting golden light on the valley. "We have learned much here," he said. "The planet is safe for now, and the crystal helps us. But we cannot ignore the galaxy beyond. There are worlds with allies, worlds with knowledge, and worlds with resources. Humans survive by exploring, learning, and connecting." Rico checked the shuttle. "The engines are stable. The shields are ready. We can travel to the nearest star system in less than a day. It has planets with signs of intelligent life. We might find friends, or we might find challenges. Either way, humans can adapt." Myra held the crystal in her hands. Its glow was calm and steady. "The crystal has guided us this far. It will continue to help, but humans must act. Courage, intelligence, and teamwork will shape our future. We are small in the galaxy, but humans have power beyond machines and weapons. We have will and hope." Boran secured supplies and tools. "Humans survive through action. We move, we explore, we solve problems. We do not give up. The galaxy is wide, but humans are wider in spirit. That is our advantage." The shuttle lifted from the valley, engines humming softly. Humans looked out at the stars, feeling awe and determination. The galaxy was vast, full of life and danger. But humans had survived the impossible. They had left Koran, escaped the Krillins, and thrived on a new planet. After hours of travel, the shuttle entered a new star system. The sensors detected a planet covered with forests and rivers, with structures that were not natural. Terran studied the readings. "There is intelligent life here. The buildings suggest technology, but not war machines. This could be a civilization that values knowledge, trade, or cooperation. Humans must approach carefully, but we have the chance to make allies." Rico prepared the shuttle for landing. "We will be cautious. We do not know their intentions, but humans can communicate, learn, and show courage. That is how we survive. That is how we grow stronger." The shuttle descended toward a clearing near a river. Towering buildings with smooth surfaces reflected the sunlight. The air was breathable, and the sounds of life filled the valley. Humans stepped onto solid ground, feeling both excitement and caution. A group of beings approached. They were taller than humans, with glowing eyes and smooth, metallic-like skin. They moved gracefully but with clear intelligence. Terran stepped forward, holding up his hands to show peace. "We come as explorers," he said. "We seek knowledge, friendship, and understanding. We are humans, and we survive through courage, cleverness, and cooperation." The beings paused, observing. Their eyes glowed brighter as if analyzing the humans. One stepped forward and spoke, their voice soft but clear. "We are the Elysians. You are far from your home. You are brave to travel across the stars. We have sensed your energy. You carry hope." Myra held the crystal higher. Its glow touched the Elysians. They stepped closer, calm and curious. "Your crystal is strong, One said. It is linked to life itself. We have not seen such a tool used by travelers before. You are different from others who roam the stars. You are careful, courageous, and united. Terran smiled. Humans survive because we act together. We use our minds, our hearts, and our hope. We do not give up, even when the universe seems impossible. We seek allies, not enemies. We seek knowledge and strength. The Elysians invited the humans into their city. The buildings glowed softly, powered by energy that seemed alive. Rivers flowed through the streets, carrying clean water for life and energy. Humans had never seen such harmony between technology and nature. Boran and Rico examined the structures, fascinated. This is an advanced civilization, Boran said. But they value balance, not destruction. Humans can learn much here. Over the next days, humans and Elysians shared knowledge. Sarah and Myra learned about the planet's plants and energy systems. Terran and Rico discussed navigation and space travel. Lena helped study local wildlife and shared food cultivation techniques. Humans realized that even in a new world, cooperation could create strength beyond what one species could achieve alone. One evening, as the twin moons rose over the city, the Elysians warned of danger. Other beings are moving through the galaxy, one said. They are powerful and seek control. They will come. You are small, but your courage is strong. You must be ready. Terran nodded. We have faced enemies before. The Krillins hunted us across space, but humans survived. We adapt, learn, and act together. We will be ready. We may be small, but humans are clever, brave, and persistent. That is how we rise. The Elysians offered technology to help the humans. Shields, communication devices, and tools that could amplify the crystal's energy. Humans trained with the new devices, combining their courage with intelligence and new knowledge. Every day, they grew stronger, faster, and more confident. Then, scouts reported movement in space. Ships unlike the Elysians or humans were entering the system. Their shapes were dark and angular, engines glowing red. Terran studied the sensors. These are hunters, he said. The galaxy is full of threats, but humans survive by courage and unity. We will stand together and act with wisdom. That is our strength. The humans and Elysians prepared defenses. The crystal pulsed with energy, and humans worked to use it to protect themselves and the city. Traps were set, shields activated, and escape routes planned. Humans did not fear. They were cautious, ready, and united. That was enough. When the dark ships entered orbit, humans and Elysians worked together. Clever tactics, combined with crystal energy and advanced Elysians technology, created a barrier that the enemies could not penetrate. The dark ships tried to attack, but humans moved with intelligence and coordination, outsmarting them at every turn. After a long struggle, the dark ships retreated. Humans had survived again. Terran looked at his crew. Humans are small in the galaxy, but we have courage, intelligence, and hope. We have allies, and we act together. That is how humans rise. That is how we survive. The Elysians nodded. You are remarkable. Your species has a fire within that no machine or enemy can destroy. We will stand with you, and together, we will face the galaxy. That night, humans sat with their new allies under the twin moons. The fire of hope burned brighter than ever. They had survived Koran, crossed the stars, faced the Krillins, explored new worlds, and made allies. Humans were rising in the galaxy, not by power alone, but by courage, intelligence, and unity. The shadows of danger remained, but the fire of hope was unstoppable. Humans had learned that survival was not just about strength. It was about heart, mind, and community. As the galaxy stretched endlessly above, humans knew they were ready for whatever came next. The journey continued, and humans were not alone. Allies, hope, and courage lit their path. Humans had traveled far. They had escaped Koran, survived the Krillins, explored new worlds, and made allies among the stars. The Elysians had become friends and teachers, helping humans grow stronger. But Terran knew the galaxy still held its greatest challenge. One morning, the sensors detected a massive fleet approaching. Ships larger and more advanced than anything humans had seen moved with precision, blocking the stars as they came closer. The Elysians called them the Vorin. They were conquerors, cruel and organized. They had destroyed worlds and enslaved civilizations. Terran gathered the humans and Elysians. "This is the test we have prepared for," he said. "We are small, but humans are clever, brave, and united. The Vorin have power, but humans have something stronger. We have hope, courage, and teamwork. That is how we rise." Rico and Vorin worked with the Elysians to strengthen defenses. Shields, crystal amplifiers, and energy barriers were aligned around the city. Lena and Sara helped organize supplies and safe zones for civilians. Myra focused the crystal, feeling its energy respond to courage and determination. Humans and Elysians worked as one, combining technology, strategy, and intelligence. The Vorin fleet entered orbit. Dark ships moved like predators, ready to strike. Terran stood with his crew on the observation platform, looking at the stars filled with danger. "We face a challenge greater than anything before," he said. "But humans survive by thinking, planning, and acting together. We will not give up. We will fight with courage, not hatred. That is our strength." The first attack came at dawn. Vorin ships fired energy beams toward the city, but humans and Elysians used shields and the crystal's energy to absorb the strikes. Clever traps made the Vorin ships misfire, and some crashed into asteroids. Humans moved quickly, repairing damage and guiding Elysians to weak points. Terran and Rico coordinated the counterattack. "We cannot match their strength," Terran said. "But humans can outthink them. Use speed, creativity, and teamwork. That is how we survive." Vorin and Lena led small strike teams. Using fast shuttles and hidden paths, they targeted Vorin supply ships. Every mission succeeded because humans adapted, learned, and acted together. The Vorin underestimated humans. They relied on force, but humans relied on cleverness and unity. Myra stood on the highest tower, holding the crystal. Its light spread across the city, touching Elysians and humans alike. The crystal seemed to respond to bravery, creating shields, healing minor injuries, and guiding the defenders. Terran realized that hope itself could be a weapon when humans believed in it. Days passed, and the battle continued. The Vorin were powerful, but humans and Elysians refused to yield. Every attack, every defense, every small victory added to the fire of hope within them. Civilians helped by providing supplies, tending the injured, and encouraging the defenders. The city became a symbol of courage and unity. One night, Terran spoke to the group. "The Vorin are strong, but they lack what humans have. They do not understand hope, unity, and courage. That is why we survive. That is why we rise. We fight not just with strength, but with heart and mind. Tomorrow, we will strike back with everything we have learned." The next day, humans and Elysians launched a coordinated attack. Clever strategies led the Vorin into traps. Crystal energy amplified shields and weapons, while humans used speed and wit to outmaneuver the enemy. Every action was calculated, every move unified. The Vorin were powerful, but they could not match the determination of humans and their allies. Terran piloted a small shuttle toward the largest Vorin command ship. He knew that disabling it could end the attack. Vorin and Rico guided him, providing information and support. Humans moved with precision, courage, and intelligence. The crystal glowed brighter, guiding their path. Inside the command ship, humans faced the Vorin leaders. They were larger, stronger, and armed with advanced weapons. But humans had learned the galaxy's lessons. Terran and the crew moved as one. Using clever traps, quick thinking, and the crystal's energy, they disabled the ship's controls. The Vorin were forced to retreat, their fleet breaking apart as humans and Elysians defended the city. When the battle ended, silence filled the city. Humans had survived the greatest threat they had ever faced. They had fought a fleet stronger than themselves and had won through courage, intelligence, and unity. The fire of hope had guided them, and their bravery had changed the outcome. Terran looked at his crew. Humans are small in the galaxy, but we are mighty in spirit. We have faced enemies, explored worlds, and built allies. Today, we showed that courage, hope, and teamwork can overcome even the greatest power. Humans rise not because of force, but because of heart and mind. The Elysians celebrated the victory, grateful for the humans' courage. "You are remarkable," one said. "Your species carries a fire that no enemy can destroy. You have changed the galaxy not through power, but through hope and unity. That is the greatest strength of all." Myra held the crystal, smiling. "It guided us, but humans provided the will. Together, we can explore further, learn more, and protect what we have built. The fire of hope will never fade." The humans repaired the city, learned from the battle, and grew stronger. They trained new generations, shared knowledge with the Elysians, and prepared for the future. The galaxy was still full of dangers, but humans were ready. They had learned that survival required courage, intelligence, and unity. They had learned that even in darkness, hope could shine bright. Terran stood on the observation platform one night, looking at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly, full of mysteries and opportunities. Humans had proven that they could face the impossible and rise. Their fire of hope would guide them through the darkness, across the stars, and into new worlds. The journey would continue, but humans knew they were capable of anything. The Krillins, the Vorin, or any other threat could come, but humans would survive. They would adapt, learn, and act together. That was their power. That was their gift. As the twin moons of the rocky planet shone over the city, humans and Elysians looked to the stars. The fire of hope burned brighter than ever. It was not just light in darkness. It was proof that courage, intelligence, and unity could change the galaxy. Humans had survived Korin, traveled across the stars, faced the Krillins, explored new worlds, made allies, and defeated a powerful enemy. They had shown that small beings could have great hearts. They had proven that hope could become a weapon, a guide, and a shield. And in the galaxy, far from home, humans would continue to rise. Their fire of hope would light the way, and their story would inspire generations to come. The stars were no longer distant or frightening. They were full of opportunity, adventure, and allies. The galaxy had seen the strength of humans, and it would never be the same again. Humans had risen, and the fire of hope would never die.